Welcome again for another episode of the Environment Dialogue, always air every Wednesday at UCTV. We are here always to articulate issues. We are here to express ourselves, the concerns that matters about our environment, matters about our surrounding, the people around us. You know, when you talk about biodiversity, the ecosystem of this country, it's a concern for everyone. It's a concern for you and I. It's not only for the government, for NEMA alone, for NFA, or maybe other people in quotes in color. No, it's for everyone, because the issue of environment affects both the poor, the rich, the young, the old, the middle class, the rich, black, blue, every color. That's the reason why we invite the young people from different spaces who are doing something, who know, at least who understand this concept. We invite them here to articulate, to digest this issue, so that at least person seated there at your television, you can understand what's happening around our country. And this month, we are in the month of October, and there are a lot of things that have been happening this month. We had yes, last week we were celebrating the Independence Day from here, and we had a good time. We were also having the youth climate conference at Silver Spring. So a lot of things has been happening. And even this week again, we are hearing more about the Chichezi time bomb. All this, we are going to discuss it right now and today. That's the reason why I have these beautiful guests who are here. I think all of them, they are not new people. They have been once here. The president herself has been now familiar on your screen. Then the other two today, they have come on board and to see that we discuss this matter. So without waste of time, let me give them this time, say something, to say at least a word to the viewers before we go to articulate the actual issue, the topic that brought us here today. Okay, let me start from my left. From Leni. Leni, please talk to the viewers.
Hello everyone, my name is Leni Latifah. I'm a youth leader and a Pan-Africanist, and I'm happy to be here.
Wow, thank you Leni for having you today. Yes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oliva. I'm a climate change activist, resource governance specialist, and I love when it comes to environment. Thank you.
Wow, thank you Olive. Yes, Excellence.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, my name is Namubiru Patricia, and I'm glad to be here once again to share with you about climate change. Yes.
Wow. Someone may ask that, why are you having all the ladies today? Remember last week we during the Independence, I had all the gentlemen, and someone said that you need to balance the board. So for this week, 2 weeks, I'm balancing the board. Since also it's the week that I'm going to be celebrating another level, another floor in my life, celebrating my birthday as a climate activist with all that. So I need to balance this board so that we bring everyone on the same page. Oh, all right. We are not going to waste time. Let's go straight to our topic that brought us today. It's about climate education and awareness. You know, people have always talked about climate education, awareness. We have seen campaigns going on around the city, even up country. There are a lot of things, but still, you find that this concept or this initiative have not been understood by the community in different places. Is it a problem that we are using too much English that they don't understand even what's climate change? I think even some of you might not understand climate change in your local language, even to us. But that one will be for another day. So, when we talk about climate change education and awareness, ladies, what do we mean? Let me start from Leni. When we talk about climate change education and awareness, what does it come into someone's mind?
When we are talking about climate change education and awareness, when I'm trying to explain to someone out there, like maybe in communities, climate change education is basically talking about the causes, the effects, and what solutions are we going to have in case we have a negative impact in the society. How are we going to educate the different people on different levels in communities, could be the ones in universities, the schools, and how are we going to create awareness to these people? What are the things that we are going to do that are going to ensure that people get to know that we are trying to bring up a Go Green project in a community? We are trying to communicate something. We are bringing up something different. We are trying to create the eco-green groups that are basically going to move about there in different areas to promote the tree planting, to tell people about the disadvantages of cutting trees, something like that.
Okay. Do you understand it in your language?
In my language.
Oh, we shall come back to that. Okay, Olive, you've been running the Twitter space and talking. I've been following you discussing always the issue of climate change. And someone was telling Dickens, yes, the topic is so interesting. The concept of climate change is interesting. That is again a boring thing to the young people who don't understand. Because someone is boring to you when you don't understand what the language that they're speaking. But when you understand what they're speaking, you will interest yourself in learning. But now, that's the reason why we are saying that climate change education and awareness. What's happening? Are people understanding the language? That many are still coming out that, please, we don't still understand all these things. What's going wrong? Is the language the problem? Or maybe the methodology that we are using, or the approach, or the interventions that we are trying to bring in place the problem? So, Olive, tell us.
Okay.
How should someone down there understand climate change education and awareness?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I want to first thank you for following our chat room, Auma's chat room always, and UCTV at large. I see always you're following. One of the things we face when it comes to climate change education and awareness, it's that, yes, you talked of using hard English. That's true. People tend to use hard English and they neglect. There's someone who uses layman's language that it's hard to understand some things. So when someone brings about fossil fuels, there's that one who did history, doesn't know fossil fuels. You get it? So in that time of the language you use also
and
make it...
people in Uganda, they say, what do you mean by fossil fuel?
Exactly. When you say like that, it makes it always hard for such people. Then also, the mindset that people have when it comes to climate change, it also affects the education sector. Because when I started the chat room, you always find that when you're discussing, we find this one asking what is all about the climate change, what is all about this. So the trick behind what we should do maybe to carry out awareness and education, someone who is asking you, what is this climate change all about? Ask the person, in which sector are you operating? If you're operating in business, I will ask you the same thing. When you see the flow of trade in the 19th when your business started, is it the same flow in the same thing? That's me. If you don't know, climate change is what you don't know. That is it. Because if the person in the agriculture sector is also going to complain about it, I will ask you, how is your production in the agriculture? How are the yields coming up? And why is the yields not coming up the same thing? You're complaining you're not seeing rain for the season. Is it the rain being magical? No. It's because of the unseen barriers of climate change.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yes, let me come to Her Excellency. I know she has been always meeting very many people, also asking you the same question. When they see you, especially trying to explain this, even during the training, I think that there are some other people who are still asking, what do you mean by climate change? Or what you guys are trying to do? Because I know that certain times other people understand things in a practical way. When they see something has cropped out, that's when they will say, oh, they take interest in that. So, Patricia, when we are speaking about climate change education and awareness, how does someone really understand that deep down there in the grassroots?
Thank you so much, Dickens. And taking you back, I would want to first know, or first tell someone that, like climate change. What is climate change in the first place? Climate change refers to the alterations in the temperatures Yes, because before you go to the education bit and the awareness, you have to first know what is the climate change. And I think it's a bit an understandable issue, because when you hear climate change, as a layman, I would understand that maybe there are changes in the weather, but then it's not that. It's the alterations in the temperatures due to the high carbon dioxide emissions, the high industrial emissions, the waste emissions. So you get that the temperatures are increasing. You realize that some areas are very hot, and that is literally the climate change. Yes, we are getting all these global warming and all these things is as a result of like climate change. So about the education and awareness, we really have to first know what causes this climate change. Yes, climate change is going to be caused by the industrial pollutions,
Yes.
the agricultural waste and all those things, the poor waste disposal, yes, and all those things are going to bring about the climate change. So how am I educating someone and making them aware of what is going to happen? Currently, as in Uganda, we realize that there are green campaigns, there are Go Green campaigns, like we have Toto Magazine, they usually have the green festivals where they plant trees and do all those things. So I think by encouraging all these outreaches or campaigns, we are trying to educate the young children, because the green festival is usually for children where they plant trees. It's a green festival, something like this. This will help us in the educating the children about the climate change, and realize that even in campaigns, we like in schools or universities, we have the debates, the environmental debates now, like this dialogue, environmental dialogue. So we get to educate and make people aware of the climate change. Are you aware of what's happening in your society, the changing temperatures, what is causing them, and do you have any knowledge about how we can change this? As youths, we think we are not interested, like you asked Olivia, we are not interested in these things, or because is the language hard, or is it, but I think it's because we don't feel the immediate effects. Yes, I think as a youth, someone would not interest themselves in the climate dialogue.
So we are waiting to learn in a hard way.
Yes, you don't feel the immediate impact of climate.
Okay.
Yes? When I hear about the global warming, I will really not think it will affect me. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm living my good life, or I'm home, I'm at campus. I really don't think climate has an impact on my life. It's raining, it's not raining. Yeah, we say rain is a blessing. If it doesn't come, well,
So before going to Leni, do you think that really that are we the activists, or maybe the government, especially the Ministry of Water and Environment, NEMA, and if just all those agencies, are we using the right procedures, or maybe are we using the right procedure to bring all this intervention into the right people, or maybe there are other things that we are missing? For instance, you have seen that you just out of the report right now about that again, that Chase saga, where they say that that there is another, we are waiting anytime for another time bomb that might explode in the area, and we are asking that other people who are around, did they get the message right? Because when you look at waste management, the thing that that happened, Stacey, is all about climate change. If it was not due to climate change or the effect of climate change, I think we will not have that
Sure.
Yeah, we will not have that issue. So now, how do you think that really, that the government with other agents who are into climate movement can pass out this, can package this information, especially to the people down there? Because when we understand that it's only still like 5% or 10% of the community people still understand this thing, it's something that even other people can still understand, like it's a new animal. Maybe that if they are speaking, or sometimes even maybe because the thing has been too English or too British, or it has become too maybe in a white man's language that other people they have not embraced. So what should we do really for these people for people to understand this language?
The language. Okay, so what we should do, I think now that takes me to language barrier or something like that, because you are saying people are not understanding what the government is putting out there. Maybe the government should know that now we are talking to Uganda, let me translate the message and not use the English version of the thing. If I'm talking to Banyankole, let the message be in the language that they understand. But even before we translate it into the language they understand, if I understand what you're telling me, shift. Where am I shifting to? Where am I going? Yes? Yeah. You know, we've had the people in Nansana, the people they shifted. Yes, they knew they had been sent messages and all those alerts months back and that, but they didn't have an option yet. So before we really make these people like, I've communicated, yes, shift, the rubbish is going to take over all this place, let's have those programs that will accommodate these people in case things are going wrong.
But also, it comes into someone's understanding to know that right now there is a problem, which even the government knows about it.
No.
The government knows about it, that people are seated in the time bomb.
Yeah.
And now there are certain intervention that you know that is coming in place. So as I know that, Ochero, there is a problem that is about to happen. Why can't they make like maybe an alarm also as a group, as a community, and we said, you know what, we need to go maybe to the Prime Minister's office and he said that we are bound for a big disaster, like we don't want experience. So, but you still find that people are silent and seated on a time bomb. Does it mean that they are still ignorant about what's happening in their community, or maybe there are certain mindset, maybe that are also a problem in the community? What's really the problem with that?
I think the problem is even having no next option, yes, because when you definitely know that the West is going to take over this place and you're not leaving, I don't think you've not understood what's really happening, the changes, because we understand this West like decompose, and when they decompose, they literally make an effect on the environment, which you can visibly see. But the fact that they are not moving, I would also think we need to have conversations with these people. I know their problem. Their problem basically might be not having where to go, yes, and that's why they are there. I think the government should also look into that issue, yes.
Okay, should I chip in?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not like the government also, the way Dickens has just cited about the Chitezi cracks, but Chitezi cracks, you were not there to hear that information, I get right? You got that information from maybe some communication media.
Yeah.
To my knowledge of what I know, I think that communication was made yesterday by the acting ED of KCCA during the Presidential Affairs Committee.
Yeah.
But now, first of all, the mode of communication matters, whom the message is going to reach. You receive the message, you don't stay in Chitezi. I know the message, I don't stay in Chitezi. So the mode of communication we use that the message is going to reach the people matters. There's no way you're going to communicate to someone in Chitezi and you're going to use Twitter. How many people in Chitezi use Twitter? And what is the age range of people who are using Twitter? What is the age range of people watching news? How many people read newspapers? Few. We have automobile apps running all over. If that will check the phones of people, how many people have such apps? And then even if someone is going to give an excuse that I don't have data. Will you blame the person? No. And yet the communication is really taking place. So the mode of communication we use matters. The message, whom is it going to reach to? And we cannot say that the agencies have not done their work. Agencies have done their work. Because if the agencies have not done their work, the acting ED would have not known that there's a crack being cited somewhere. So that means the agencies have gone there, they've carried out the research, they've communicated to the responsible people. Responsible people had to communicate, just that the mode of communication was not proper. So that is now why we have to apply the existence of the activists and the different youth leaders and the groups acting like maybe. Now if you have cited such things like that, who are the people in the committee during the conference address? You will find out these are the big bosses who are staying in Munyenga, who are staying in Munyonyo. There's that activist who is out there who stays in Chitezi. But if you are not included, he or she, how will the person take the information back to the people in Chitezi? Because that's the reason why they rose up. Activists rose up to help the local people, people who are down.
Let me go to Leni. Leni, are we using the right channels for communicating this message of climate change, or we are just there boxing the shadow, or we are deceiving us on media, or because what we are trying, because the climate change concept is right now a global concern, which is not only affecting the Americans or maybe the Chinese, the people from Oman or from Australia. It's something which is affecting everyone. So, according to you, are we using the right channels to communicate, to package this message, or maybe there is something lagging?
What I can say is we are using the right channels to communicate to these people about the climate change, the projects and all that. But if you go down to these small villages, like maybe you're talking of Chitezi,
yes,
people are not going to have time to watch TV. We'll go to Twitter to see that they are talking about the outbreak that is going to come soon. But what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to go to those areas that are affected and actually call in their leaders and the community people to communicate to them and tell them the challenges and what is going to come next in case they do not come up with a solution. And to get solutions to these climate change problems they are having, the government or the people in charge of these issues should go back and look for a backup in case we are going to evict these people from this area. Where are we going to put them? The real reason why most people are saying that the people in Chitezi are ignorant, they don't want to shift from these places. Some person will be like, no, I have nowhere to go.
True.
Where am I going to go? I would rather be here. If I die, I die. Because you're not giving them the platform of, okay, if we evict you from here, we are going to give you a safer place that is not going to be like affected with those issues of rubbish falling on them. Now that there is a challenge that another outbreak might fall in Chitezi area, I think they should go more to the area and avoid talking on these televisions. People in those areas don't have time for televisions.
Yeah.
People are working, people have farms there. They don't have time to be there on TV that I'm waiting to hear what they are speaking about my home area, no. So I believe if you're an activist and you want to bring change to an area, go to that area, talk to them and tell them.
Okay, basing on the chat room, what you have been carrying out when it comes to climate change, environmental protection, because we base mostly on ecosystem and biodiversity, because two of them benefit from one another. So how we have been doing it to reach out to the people you asked about that, what I normally do when I'm to host Dickens, I know Dickens does not come from Kampala. Dickens comes maybe from, let me say Kisoro. So when I host him, after the chat room, I'll task you to give me a feedback of what you have done on the ground. You get me? What you have done on the ground. It's like taking responsibility after a responsibility. You get it? Delegating. Instead of me reaching to the place where you can, I delegate my responsibility to you. That means it's you to give me the feedback. So one of the things that government or the different agencies, sometimes I don't like using government because I am the government, you are the government. One of the things we need to do is that always taking roles into our hands sometimes. It's not always the government to do everything for you.
Yeah.
First of all, before you say that it's the government to do everything for you, look at it. Is it the government suffering? It's you suffering, not the government. So if it's you suffering, what do you need to do all that? I saw climate change was attacking. That was the brain behind bringing out the chat room. Chat room now, if I saw that climate change is going to affect people, it's going to affect our environment, biodiversity, ecosystem at large, what should I do? I create a chat room to impact the people in leadership so that they don't know what they're doing, they don't know what it's all about climate change, but they can get the idea. Then the ideas I've got, they help us to reach out to the people we cannot reach out to. So now it's now the task of you as a person play a role. When you've got the idea about something, do you keep it within yourself or you deposit it somewhere to help a community somewhere? Let's always, for people logged in our last chat, we were talking about patriotism. When someone hears about patriotism, it's all about politics. But it's not all about patriotism.
Because that's the first thing that...
when I talk about patriotism,
isn't it?
It's all about politics.
Patriotism,
Pan-Africanism.
Pan-African, and in most cases, when I talk about patriotism, someone thought, she's from the youth cadre. Yeah, I'm not from the youth country, but I have patriotism for your environment. Do you care for your environment? Do you care for your neighbor? We are having a submission from one of our speakers who was saying that there was a distortion in national wetland. So you had someone who is staying around national wetland, or you passed around that wetland. What did you do? Or you just say to whom it may concern, have patriotism, love one another. In other countries, I always have interaction with people in other countries. Someone will see this thing is going to happen and help one another, love your neighbor as you love yourself. You know, it's a Bible verse, but it can also come to an environmental verse. Love your environment as you love yourself. If you love your environment, you won't dump caveras, you won't dump bottles. I know most of you now, being in the developed country, we are now proceeding to the development for the country to be a developed country. Some people resist from taking borehole water. When you want to boil water, we buy mineral water. After we buy the mineral water, where are you depositing the bottle? Are you really being conscious? There's a policy which was being brought up, I don't know where it ended, it was being brought up by name about every car having a trash can inside for dropping your bottle. Because you do that in your border, someone is a bottle.
Throw the bottle.
You feel as if they are making you feel as if you don't have a car, but no. Let's be responsible for the activities.
But by the way, we're speaking of that act.
Yeah.
One day I tested the UPDF. I wanted to know if these people really understand what was called environmental protection and waste management.
Yeah, true.
What I did, I went near that barricade at the quarter guard. I threw a cavera. Why? I wanted to check if these people
someone was going to
they're
act.
sensitive, if they're going to act.
Yeah.
I went there, I threw a cavera. When I threw a cavera down and I started walking towards the guy came, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You need to go and remove your cavera. And you know, with the UPDF. Before the things over. But the good thing, I like how they are too disciplined and they follow. When I just say, Father, I'm very sorry. I live here. Let me go and what? You should get it put even in your pocket. But because you apologize, you can take your camera, carry your camera and go with it. Don't you see this place is clean?
Sure.
Then I say that if UPDF, the army, someone can have that mindset, that person, that he sees that the environment needs to be protected. The waste are supposed to be managed. Now, what of a person who is down there? This is a person who is keeping someone's what? Place. It's not even his land. It's not even. But he's so sensitive about it. But now you find this one. This is your own home. And you find caveras, you find what?
Bottles everywhere.
And it's okay. It's all well. KCC will come and what?
Collect.
They will come and collect. And when it rains, you have not yet seen another saga. I saw that, I think on TikTok, some saga. The lady, it was raining. She ran outside with a sack of waste. She poured it on the trench. The water was flowing. Ask yourself, where is it going to end? To a living human being or a non-living thing? Even if it's a non-living thing, non-living things have contribution to the existence of the living things. Then why don't you have that heart of whom am I affecting?
I have a place at my home. These people threw rubbish, so the KCC or what kept on taking it. So they made it a habit to pour their rubbish because they took it for granted. But I realized, every night, someone else was bringing rubbish. The other night, so the rubbish was almost on our doorway. They kept on piling and piling. That shows you that people really do not care about other people's lives. Because when you pour your rubbish near my home, you're affecting my health, yes. But because your home is far away, it doesn't concern you. That takes us back to the love of our environment. Someone is not disturbed by the ugly scenery.
It's not their business.
It's not your business, but maybe
them are ignorant.
But when I fall sick, imagine when Ebola falls at my plate, it's going to move. It will come back to you who dumped your rubbish. That is what people don't know. That's one of the intervention is that we have to develop love for ourselves, and we have to develop. Then another thing, I think one of the things that it's supposed to be done with everyone means.
I think all those ones just zero to behavioral change in the community.
Yeah, true. One of the things is that we either NFF or MEMA or the Minister of Water. It's a matter of, you talked of language barrier. It is not a disease, let me tell you. Most of these activists come from deep villages. But one of the challenges they get is that you will go to a place, they will ask you, who sent you? The mindset, they will say you're a government worker. You get it? And you have not to deny. That's where they now start asking you for money. And if you're helping someone in the community, someone asks you for dimes. Which is really not much. So one of the things I find which is good at, because Minister of Water cannot move from office to go to the villages to campaign. Get these activists, collect them in one room. You see, people used to say that Amin was dictatorial. He wasn't. Put them in one room, let them divide. You're going to North, you're going to East, we want to see the impact. Just sponsor them with accommodation, sponsor, and don't take them to their home district. Because they reach home, they sleep. So when you divide them North, if you're from the West, go to North.
Sleeping, I'll have pity because if
I'm
operating where
at my home, I'll go back and
how can I?
Yeah, so it's not of just getting in collaboration with the activists, divide them, task them, because as the managers, as the departmental heads of these associations and agents of NEMA, of means of water, you will not reach the ground to spread all this. These are the people you need to do to work in collaboration with them. Divide them, give them a task. 1 week, impact this community. You will see the effect. You will find that in countries there are not cut papers somewhere. It's not that it's one money thing.
Should use the government should use an iron hand on that.
Ego eye. If in climate change, being an activist, I advocate for that. We use ego eye.
They should do open rallies for that.
Patricia has just talked of someone dropping a Kavera somewhere. Come to when you notice there's an area where people normally dump rubbish anyhowly. Sure. You're a member of cases here. You are the head. Get someone in that community. Just sponsor that person to just keep monitoring. The person should not act, but when you come to carry out your activity, the person will have to take you to the person who dumped that rubbish.
You know this method of the police putting on common clothes so that you don't notice.
Even KCCA does that.
Yeah, they should use that when it comes to climate change. Not even climate, waste management. Because waste have become the song. We only miss the studio to produce a song for waste management. Seriously, that is really too much. But we have that. If we get this activist, we deploy activists, just like the way they do research. We deploy activists in different areas to go and carry out awareness. You task them to make sure the outcome is there. You will see the outcome, and the rest of the team at the offices will have to do M&E only, and we shall see somewhere we're going. But if we keep singing, Auma comes to UCTV, we sing, we sing, we shall not make it.
Yes, thank you, Oliver. That's because of time. Yes, Leni, what can we do? You've heard from Auma, Olive, what she has said and all. Is that we are supposed to use an ego we bring that means concept into environmental issues.
Yeah.
Also, what can we do that that really it's applicable? First of all, the community around us, they are able to practice, and also the government can intervene with it.
I think what Auma had first told us is right. We need to do the activists out there who are advocating for climate change. They are supposed to partner with these NGOs. Yeah. To go to these villages, we distribute a number of people to different areas around the country. We tell these people what they are supposed to do, and we give them a time period. We would see a change within a month. So basically, I believe in doing also the workshops. Workshops now, we are tired of the social media workshops whereby people are doing things online. It's time to go physical.
The Zoom meeting?
Yeah, Zoom meetings are no longer doing anything. How do you expect someone in Chiriandongo, someone in maybe Arua, those areas of Zombo district, to be able to access these social media campaigns? They're not going to access them.
True.
They'll access them when we go to the areas and start doing these projects. We go advocate for climate change. How are we advocating for it? We have to do research. We have to know how are we going to help this home area. Different districts have different challenges in terms of climate.
That's true.
Yeah, so we have to look at those areas and get to know how are we going to help these guys. Because people are there in the villages, they are saying we are suffering from this, we are suffering from this. But you can't expect these big government environment organizations to have the time, those ones in offices, to sit down and say, okay, let us all leave offices and let's go to these districts. They are not going to get that time. But we have the youth activists that are vying for climate change. These are the people you're supposed to invite and offer them a deal of going to these home areas and putting out their innovations and ideas to these people. They can talk of tree planting, do the eco groups whereby they're going to say, every day in a week, we are going to do a physical meetup whereby we are going to do a climate project that is going to be something that is hands-on. You take them to the fields whereby they can get to see these things in reality, other than telling someone, you can tell me on Twitter, you see, in Chitezi there was an outbreak. How will I know? I'm on Twitter. I've not gone down on ground to know what is happening. So I believe we are supposed to do something that is physical. Those seminars are supposed to be physical, whereby if we are talking of Go Green, after the seminar like this teaching us, let's go plant. Let's go to these areas that have a lot of waste management problems. Pick up these maybe plastics, put them in a place, we figure out how we are going to recycle them and going to use them again.
Oh. Just to chip on that, I'd forgotten. One of the different people who are supposed to be tasked are the events managers.
True.
Are the events managers?
They leave a lot of rubbish.
Events has the highest effect.
But they always say that they pay for damage.
Thank you. Pay for damage. Will you pay for my death? No. So when events are happening, Dickens, you have attended events. I know all of us here have attended events. And people watching us, you have ever attended events. In the evening, you'll find bottles in the corner, bottles in the corner.
Is it last week? Freshers ball and moves and
you get me. Yeah, that is one of the things that I'm saying, that we have to task event managers. As an event manager, you will go for the event, and service providers, the event managers, service providers, those are the people who are supposed to be tasked, because we always have events, we have conferences, we have summits, and we can't cancel them. We have to make them run. But now as a service provider, you have a task to make sure no bottle it's always displayed. If not, get in touch with the manufacturing companies. If you're producing Coke products, get in touch with Coke. Let them sponsor people to come and collect those things in the media. But you're going to go to an event, after the end of the events, you're welcoming guests at the bottles and the caveras. Really, is that what we really want? What are we doing? What are we fighting for? And at the extreme end of it all, when wind comes, it blows it east, north, west, and south. You can't know where it's going to end.
Wow. Okay. Wow, I have a question. You belong to the Pan-African Women Organization. Sure. And I know that you'd say that when you talk about patriotism, Pan-African movement, what someone will pick up is politics, politicizing everything. So now, with that, how are you, as one of the leaders who have been into the women movement, really pass out, especially the message of climate education and awareness? Because now, what we are seeing, that the government has introduced new curriculum, and with this new curriculum, is also climate education and awareness part of it, or what happened that maybe the climate education and awareness is not part of it?
So for the new curriculum, I'm not very sure about it, but I'm sure about our grassroots, like where we started from. For example, I'll take you back to science and SST. Yeah, I think we've all of us have done that. Yes. You realize in those subjects there is a lot of climate, more so SST. They'll teach you about all climate, weather, the instruments and all that. I think the education and awareness started from back then. But then maybe when we came to secondary, we lost all that. Yes, so I think it should be included if it's not there in the...
In a practical way, not theory.
Yes, yes. You will realize that some schools have weather stations. I don't know if you've noticed that in some schools.
For us, we sang in my primary, I never even saw how it looks like a rain gauge even. I was just sitting in MK books.
Yeah, in SST. Like,
yeah, SST.
Yes. Yeah. But you realize some schools have the weather stations. Yes, that is where the education starts from, and some schools have gardens. You realize in a school there is a garden. They are teaching you how to recycle, how to use
But those guys were also another punishment field for really.
punishment way.
Yeah.
In a punishment way, yes.
Yeah.
But I think if it's not there yet, the government should find out ways of how they can encourage us to participate in those activities, in like to make sure that climate is really not affecting us.
Now,
Okay.
you see, like the way it's always in campus that at the end of the course you have to do research. They should put it in high school at the end of your senior 4. You should have a project you have come up with out of waste.
Okay.
And they will grade you according to that project. And that project should be promoted.
Even exhibitions.
The exhibitions always.
All right. I know we have come always to the end. I just want you to make your last remark. Let me start from Leni, then to Olive, then to Patricia. Leni, you give us your recommendation or your remark to the viewers out there.
Thank you so much, Dickens. I think my recommendation to the people out there that are watching this environmental dialogue, I urge you all to not basically be out there looking at social media campaigns and saying this is where the climate change rallies will end. Let's come up, advocate for the climate change and awareness on a physical basis, whereby we are going to do different rallies and projects that are going to look at empowering the youth out there to look at climate change education as something that they should put their emphasis on and not look at it as something boring. I think all of us here are youth and we are advocating for climate change education and awareness. Please join the cause and be part of it. You get to learn more and you acquire more knowledge. Thank you.
Wow. Then Olive.
Thank you very much, Dickens. I want to applaud you for this program that you've started up. I want to applaud whoever watches us. Please subscribe to his comments, like and comment to Environmental Dialogue. One of it that I want to first of all tell you that what you listen here, please don't keep it within your head. If one of the topics we have discussed about is practical, please do practice. Just collect those bottles, go to UCTV, connect a hand to talk to Dickens. They will redirect you to Dickens. With those bottles, we want those bottles. Okay, you might not be knowing the use of those bottles, collect those bottles. Let's maintain our environment. Let's conserve the environment. You will either die or survive due to the environmental justice. But as for me, he talked. I'm a host of Auma's chat room. Every Saturday we'll be carrying out the same discussion. But time to come, we shall be reaching to the ground to come and get information from them.
Say you need to go to the ground.
We shall come to the ground and to the agencies. Thank you for the work you're doing. We need more collaboration with the activists. Thank you.
Yeah. Excellence is here. The whole organization is here. So please give your recommendation.
To everyone who's watching, we thank you all. Please subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think about climate change. Tell us what you know. What is the climate change? If you understand it in your local language, please share with us. Let us break down these things and let us be practical. Let us be intentional about our climate. You know, we are in the Pearl of Africa. Let it not stop about being the Pearl. Let us make it the Pearl and let it not just be theoretical. Reuse, renew, and recycle the waste. Thank you.
Wow, she has talked of always sharing information, coming up with other things, how you can connect to other people, partnership, and all that, you can do it. And you know that every sweet thing always comes to an end. Every beginning has an end. Because of time, in my language they say that if something is small, it will always be too sweet that you need more and more. But as time goes on, we always have this discussion from 1 hour to 2 hours every Wednesday. That's the reason why we are here at UCTV to front and to champion environment conversation in every place. And we look at being the global movement for the environment conservation. I would like also to urge you that please, as my guests have said, that share the information. Share the information to reach to different places and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, like it. That's how we grow and the message reach out to very many people around us. And even those ones who want to advertise with us during the show, you're free. You can contact us We are there. My number is there. My producer Lam is there. Always you can reach out to you. You want always support the show. You're free to support the show in any way you want to reach out to us. So we are powered every day by UCTV management and Caritas Uganda. We are here always to amplify the voice of the community, the young people, every Wednesday. And I will always remain your host, Dickens Ochero, right here, right now. Thanks very much. See you next week. Have a blessed week and a blessed month. Bye-bye.
UCTV. Good news for all.